Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so excited about today's topic because it is a topic that every single person that I work with always asks me about. It is one of the topics we all should be looking at and talking more about, and it is all about your soul purpose, the thing your soul came to do in this lifetime on this earth. And if you are listening to this, yes, you have a soul purpose. Yes, you have something very unique and tied to your soul that you are here to do. So we're going to dive all into it. If you're watching the video, I'm in a new space. I moved into a new home, so bear with me as I set this whole thing up. But I am in my new home since the LA fires. I'm so excited. But let's dive into today's topic. So let's talk about soul purpose. One thing to keep in mind is the frequency of the planet is quite low. Now, it did jump right around COVID, and that is why we have so much shifting around on the planet. But the planet frequency is quite low. And the reason for that is because about 98, 97% of the people on this earth are not doing their soul purpose, the thing that they came to do. And there's many reasons for that, but it keeps the frequency of the planet quite low. If we were all in our soul purpose, that genius part of us, that thing that we have mastery over, this planet's frequency would be quite high. And this comes from the absence of light. There's fear that if we were all successful, none of us would be. So there's all of these tactics, all of this fear-based thinking that keeps us at bay. It keeps all of that soul pole alignment down. And that is that matrix, getting stuck in the matrix, right? So today we're going to talk about little pieces about your soul purpose and how to connect more to it and understand it more so that you start to align yourself to your soul purpose more. Because the more we all align, the more we are all going to thrive. Because each and every one of us has something unique and different to give to the world. And we would all be thriving if all of that was available. But right now, it is such a small percentage of people who are actually doing their soul purpose. So I get this question a lot. Can you miss your soul purpose in this lifetime? And the answer is yes. You could spend many lifetimes missing it and then on a lifetime hitting it. And that, I'm not saying to scare you, but I want you to understand that it is a alignment thing that has to happen. And there are a few tricks to knowing this, but also a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what my soul purpose is. And that is a big, big, big question mark for a lot of people. The problem is if you knew exactly what it was today, that long-term soul purpose, you might jump ship because it won't make any sense to you now, because you have to think of a soul purpose as a mastery of self, something that only you can do at the level of mastery. And each step of the way, my little dog is like burying his little bed right now. So if you're hearing that, he is joining in. He's like, I'm doing my soul burns. But like I said, this long-term soul purpose, there's steps you have to take to get to that mastery. So I don't want you to freak out if you don't understand or know what your soul purpose is, because again, you would jump ship emotionally. The human can only handle so much information. And I remember when I was told I was supposed to be a healer and I cried for 5 hours because it just was so overwhelming, even though it made complete sense. It was a complete shift in my human brain. So if I was told at that point what I was going to do when I'm 80, I would probably jump ship and run. You have to remember how we're programmed emotionally as we go into fight or flight whenever something is way too unreachable or doesn't make any sense. So just keep in mind that you're not fully supposed to know the complete end goal. Now, can you find the little mini goals now? 100%. And there's some tricks to this. One of the biggest things that I see is knowing what your soul heart love is. One of the biggest reasons why people are off their soul path is they go towards a fill. Meaning, we talked about this with cravings. When you go towards a job, a hobby, anything that is a craving, meaning I'm doing this because I want to feel special, then that is going to actually misalign you to your soul pull, the thing that you're pulled to do, your soul path, your soul purpose. You have to have a true love for what you do. And so many humans don't know what a true love is because, and I had this so much in my life. I I thought I knew who I was. I thought I knew what I enjoyed doing, and it was completely not true. I thought I loved dancing, and on a level of me having a soul love for that, it lands at like 36%. It is so low. And so you have to be honest with yourself. Is the thing that I'm drawn towards for a soul purpose, is that to fill an emotional want? Because if it is, then that is not your soul purpose. And you can say, no, I love it so much. Then ask yourself, what do you love about it? Because you have to be honest with knowing. And if you use intuition, test or phone a friend to test, because it could be an emotional question, that how much do I have a soul love for what I'm doing? Because I could tell you back in the day, for many years, I would have said, I love dancing. It's not true. You have to want to do it without being paid, without any other thing around it. It's just something you live and breathe with. So, for example, for me, healing, all of that, trust me when I say this, every second of the day, I'm integrating and absorbed in that world. This isn't something I just shut off on, and it isn't something that I just get paid for and then I don't do. It is something that I have a true love for, which means I want to spend every second of the day doing it. So that is a very clear indication of trying to figure out, am I in alignment, a shoot, an arrow target towards my soul pull? And be honest with yourself, and don't worry if things come crashing. It can be overwhelming and scary, but I promise you on the other side of it, it is so amazing. But being honest with, is the thing I'm going towards, is this a true soul love? Is this something that I would do every second of the day and never get paid for it and be okay with that? Because if the answer is no, then it's not part of your soul path. Now, our higher selves are geniuses, and they obviously know us very well. So they will figure out, okay, Valerie is going to go towards dancing because she's going to want to feel special. So let's use that to our ability. And I did a lot of stage work with dance. Obviously, I was on a stage all the time. Now that is a true love, being on stage, performing in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, here I am. This is a form of performance, whether I'm in a session, a course, live here. Well, this isn't live, but you know what I mean, recording. Or when I continue to do more in-person live things, that is a performance. So my higher self used this avenue to get something from it. So I do not want you to think your whole life has been wasted, because that's my second point, is every second of your life, there are elements that you are mastering and learning within your soul pull. The things that you're going towards, there are elements within it, skill sets, personality traits, masteries that you will learn from. My other business, I think I've mentioned before, it's a mobile spray tanning company, and I had it for 13 years. And for many years, I would show up to people at the very beginning. I did the actual spray tanning, and I would show up at people's homes, and I would have mini sessions with them without even realizing it. I would give them advice, and then they would go do it. And I would come back the next week to spray tan them. And they were like, oh my God, it changed my life. So this was years prior to me doing the healing work. And it was this hidden skill that I didn't realize I was doing. So there is a trick. You can actually turn every single job that you do into a soul pull mastery. So if you're interested in that, leave comments below. Maybe we'll expand on that more on here, or we'll work together, do some form of event. Just comment below if you're interested in something like that, because there is a trick to turning every job, from working at a gas station to owning your own business, to fine tune and hone in on your soul pull even more. Because Again, I do not want you to panic if you are in a job or you're not in a job and you don't know where you're going, that you're wasting time or there isn't value in all of that. There are ways to turn and activate your soul pull in everything that you're doing. And so for me with my other company, I didn't realize I was doing that, but I was activating it without even realizing it. And now I completely see it all. So there is a trick. So leave a comment below if you're interested in maybe we can do a webinar or an event on that. So those are the two things to keep in mind is number one of the biggest things is so many people go, I love this. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're doing it to fill up an emotional lack. That is the number one thing that gets souls way off path. Number two is this knowing that there are skills within everything that you're doing that is you collecting the pieces of your soul pull. Because I want you to realize your soul pull is your mastery, your genius, this thing that you're meant to do. It has many skill sets, many knowledge put all into one ball of information within you. And then that is your soul pull. You can collect all of that along the way. So keep that in mind. Another thing I want you to keep, and this might be one of the more important things that I want you to hear today the most, because my job is to help you unlock all of your value so that you have access to everything on this planet. So when it comes to your soul pull, when it comes to you, I want you to hear this. You are the asset. You are the special sauce, the secret ingredient. There is no one like you. There's not one other blueprint out there that has all the components that make up you. From your life experiences, from your challenges, from your struggles, from your build that your soul decided to build and choose your physical vessel, how you got through things, the people around you, all of it. There is not one other person that has your path. So if you have information that 10 other people have, I promise you this, that all 10 of those people could have a booming career if they understood that they were the secret sauce. So you have contracts with souls out there that are meant to work with you. They are 100% meant to work with you and only you because of how you are going to approach the information, how you are going to teach it, how you are going to interact with them. They are going to be drawn to you, and you are the only person that can give them that information. Hence why we all could thrive if we were all in our soul pull. Our lives would be incredible. The frequency of this planet would be so high. But I really want you to take this in today, that you are the element that either lights up your soul pull or makes it go dim and quiet. You are the thing. So if there is one thing to take away from today is knowing that you are the secret sauce to it all. I was sitting there pausing because they keep, my intuition keeps saying like, and knowing what is truly making you happy, I can't tell you how much that takes a soul off path, going towards a craving versus a soul thing. So just know that you are the secret sauce. You need to tap into what your soul really lights up and is really good at. And there's something to keep in mind with that. So when I started to walk my soul path and really open up my soul purpose, it was all fun and games, and it was great, and I loved it, and I was like, this is the best time ever. And then I got to a point where my higher self was like, okay, well, strengthen this skill and strengthen this knowledge and da-da-da. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like fun at all. And the only reason why it didn't sound like fun was a few things. One, it was new. So I knew me being comfortable was not going to be there, and it meant perceived pain is what happened in my body. My brain was like, no, abort ship. This isn't going to be fun. I don't want to do this. But when it comes to our soul purpose, you have to remember that, we have to kind of walk the walk and lean into the things that, we want to do. we might resist because we might be really good at it. So some things that I was like, I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like fun to me. This happened to me recently, actually, in my other business. I just did not want to do it. I was for a year resisted it. And then I decided to do it. And I loved it. It was like when I was doing it, I was like, wow, I might be really good at this. So there was that aspect of me going, maybe I am actually really good at this. And then there's the times where I'm working a new skill and I'm like, this feels like I'm pulling my hair out because I'm so wobbly here. This is so brand new and I don't feel as good as I feel over here when I'm killing it. So there's this element of growth that happens. You have to challenge yourself. You have to understand that there's skills and there's embodiment of your soul pull, and the things that you resist might be the exact thing you need. And also giving yourself wiggle room to grow and learn and be shitty at something and then get really good at it. Not sure if I can say that word on YouTube, but we'll go with it. So you are going to have an issue either with what you're doing, or you're going to realize, wow, I'm actually really good at this. I just needed to kind of take the leap. And one thing I want you to know on a spiritual level of what's happening is your soul purpose. You are not here to learn it. You're here to remember it. Before we come into this lifetime, I'm sure all of you can't remember before this lifetime, right? We have no recollection of it because once we get into this realm, we forget it. We have soul knowledge in our soul archives, and that knowledge can be downloaded into us, and it can be downloaded in different ways. You can learn how we're talking right now. I'm helping you remember information that your soul knows, and why it might be resonating is because of that. So I'm helping you download the information so it can come that way. Another huge way of downloading information and integrating it is challenge. This is why I will always harp on changing your viewpoint to challenges, knowing that the only way to download and integrate that information is through a challenge. We have to have a challenge show up, and for us to sit and go, Valerie, how am I going to use what I know to get through this? And that's when we find our genius. And that's when we turn on our mastery. We have to go, what secret sauce do I have to move through this? Now, if you're using tools in the spiritual world that you're learning from me or somewhere, that is your knowledge that you actually know. I'm just reminding you, and you're starting to integrate it, and you're going to find your way and little elements of it that feel a little different that are very you. And that goes back to your secret sauce. So keep in mind, challenges should not be avoided. They should be welcomed because that is how you're going to get to your soul purpose. If you want to get there quickly, be okay with challenge. Get yourself outside of your comfort zone. Know that it's going to wreak havoc on your system. I've been there, trust me. But that is why I launched this new emotional mastery course, because you don't have to be the emotional up and down. When I started, I did not have emotional mastery, so my emotions were everywhere. So there are skills that you can learn to help move through that. But I want you to know is get outside your comfort zone and know that challenge is the way to download information and download your own mastery. So do not avoid it and know that it's an opening. It's the information, the answers you're trying to look for. So instead of sitting and going, I want to know what my soul pull is, which I understand that, and there's pieces you can learn intuitively on what direction to go. Your biggest way of getting there or getting more of those answers is mastering yourself within challenge, learning skill sets of how to master your own being so that when you have a challenge, you start to learn how you got through it. And then that is what you share to the world. And you can share it in many different ways. It might not be this way. It can be literally any way, but you'll find your way. And keep this in mind. You are the secret sauce. I will keep coming back to that, because if you don't connect to the fact that you are the thing that fuels the information. You are the thing that's going to get someone to connect and resonate with it. And you're going to have the answers that they have a challenge with. It is not a coincidence that I work with people and I've gone through what they are talking about. I've walked it. I've chosen to step up and go, this is a challenge, instead of running or blaming somebody. I'm going to use what I talked about in the very first episode. This is an inside out world. This is showing me something about me. Let me heal that. And through the healing is where I've unlocked my soul pull. So you don't even need to know it. You just need to look at your world and use it to get there. And again, keep in mind that being honest with what actually truly is a soul happiness, a soul love, a heart love, not a human craving. That is going to be a huge component to get you to align to the right thing. Because for many years, I was doing all of the wrong things and going after a craving versus a soul path. So play with all of these things, sit and ruminate. Soul pull, soul purpose is such a huge, huge conversation to talk about. But I wanted to give you something to start chewing on and know that you have the ability, if you are listening to this, trust me when I say this, you have the ability to get on your soul path and do it. And you can hit that end goal in this lifetime. But you have to step up to the challenge and know that it's going to be about being honest with yourself and also challenging yourself to get there. Learning more knowledge and more skills about self, that's going to unlock you. And like I said, you are the secret sauce. So if you want mastery of your soul pull, start mastering yourself with everything we're talking about spiritually, because it will unlock your soul pull the quickest way possible. Thank you so much for joining. It means the absolute world to me. My goal is to reach as many people as I possibly can, and I cannot do this without you. So please like, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, share this with anyone you feel like it would resonate with. Again, I cannot do this without you, so thank you.